Hi, it's Christina with the Sisyphean Journal. Today's June 9th. I already posted videos for the anniversaries that I have for today. I'll link to them below. One was 2 criminal abortion deaths that took place on the same date, and the other was 2 teenage girls were fatally injured nearly simultaneously at a National Abortion Federation clinic. And today's the anniversary of the first of those 2 girls to succumb to her injuries. So I'll link to those below. But I just went and just put abortion and for the filter today. And apparently a 6-week abortion law, 6-week abortion ban was passed. I'm almost all the way through the ad, and we're going to have a look.
But first tonight, a 6-week abortion ban set to soon become law again in South Carolina. The state Senate voting last night to send the bill to Governor Henry McMaster's desk.
Governor McMaster says he looks forward to signing the bill as soon as possible, saying the state is, quote, one step closer to protecting innocent lives.
The bill will soon face a challenge in court. Planned Parenthood said it will file a lawsuit.
I think I'm going to have a heart attack and die from that surprise. Planned Parenthood will defend absolutely anything abortion-y. They're pretty appalling.
Our Taggart Houck is following this, and he joins us in studio with the latest. Tag.
Carol, Governor Henry McMaster signed a 6-week ban into law back in 2021. The court struck that down in January, but lawmakers believe this version will hold. A 6-week ban on abortion is on its way to the governor's desk. It includes exceptions for...
Whoa, okay, so they're actually showing an ultrasound here, but I wonder if you're going to be able to see a 6-week embryo on the ultrasound, or if they're just going to have a blurry thing so you can pretend the baby doesn't actually exist.
Deadly fetal anomaly.
Ooh, hold on. Let's back up. Something about deadly fetal anomaly. Hold on.
It includes exceptions for deadly fetal anomalies, the mother's life, and rape and incest up to 12 weeks.
Okay, so first of all, deadly fetal anomaly. Why do you need to kill the baby then if the baby is going to die? You don't, walk into the neonatal intensive care unit and go, well, that baby's going to die soon, and slit its throat. So, yeah, it's and also it's very little known that among the women who suffer the most emotionally from their abortions are the women who abort because of fetal indications, because they don't want their babies to die. And the doctors will kind of paint this as if you don't abort, they treat it as though you are inflicting a disability on the baby, instead of, look, this baby already exists, this baby has this problem, how do you want to handle it? So there's that aspect. Why would you need to kill the baby if the baby's just going to die anyway? And then there is perinatal hospice, which is support for women who face a severe prenatal diagnosis. Perinatal hospice hooks them up with other families who have faced a similar diagnosis, and it allows them to make a birth plan that is going to give them the most possible time with their baby, should they be able to carry to term. And the thing about that is, if she does lose the baby prior to going to term, at least she doesn't have to live with the fact that she signed that baby's death certificate. And we have to remember that when a doctor's giving you a prognosis, he's doing the same thing the weatherman's doing. He's trying to make a prediction. If you would not bet your child's life on a weather report, why would you risk your child's life on a medical prognosis? Okay, and there have been plenty of cases where the woman was told the baby had a fatal problem, and either the baby's problem was not nearly as serious as the doctors believed, or it turned out there was nothing wrong with the baby whatsoever. But if you abort, you completely eliminate the possibility that there can be a happy ending. You are guaranteeing that you're going to have the worst possible outcome, which is, I would think the worst possible outcome is a dead baby. A baby that sadly is going to die soon after birth, where you provide hospice, just like you would for anybody else who's dying. And then they talked about threat to the mother's life. And this is something where they're talking about early abortion. Late abortion for health or life of the mother is absolutely nonsensical, because you don't need to kill the baby to end the pregnancy. In fact, you end the pregnancy faster if you just either induce labor or do a C-section without stopping and taking the time to kill the baby first. So the idea that in a maternal health problem you have to kill the baby first and then end the pregnancy, that's nonsensical. Now we're talking prior to viability. There is a difference between taking steps to save the mother's life and just deliberately killing the baby. And the difference is, say the mother has uterine cancer and the doctor's like, this is going to metastasize, it's going to kill her very quickly, we need to do a hysterectomy. Well, doing the hysterectomy with the baby's death as a sad side effect because you had to remove this cancerous uterus is very different from, okay, before we do this hysterectomy, we're going to go in and we're going to rip that baby limb from limb and tear it out, and then we'll do the hysterectomy. You know, why do you have to stop to kill the baby first? And even prior to viability, you can induce labor. And yes, the baby's going to die of extreme prematurity, but that is a side effect of ending the pregnancy. It's not your goal. Your goal is not a dead baby. Your goal is, we need to end the pregnancy to save this woman's life. And then rape and incest, you know, basically that boils down to, I think abortion is bad unless I happen to particularly sympathize with you. Either it's wrong to kill these babies, or it's perfectly okay to kill these babies, and to say that because the baby's father was an absolute slime bag, it's okay to kill that baby. You know, killing children because of crimes their fathers committed doesn't strike me as being very just. And talking about the baby as if, you know, saying it's the rapist baby, it's the rapist baby, that it erases the woman as if she is nothing but the ground in which that rapist planted his seed. And biologically, she is more that child's parent than the man is. You know, the woman contributes more. First of all, the X chromosome has way more genes than the Y chromosome does. So, you know, a guy is already getting a bigger chunk of genetic material from his mom just with that X chromosome instead of that Y. But all the mitochondrial DNA comes from the mother. And there's transplacental exchanges that take place. So that baby is more the woman's baby than it is that man's baby. So why do you take the woman out of the equation and act as though she's nothing compared to what that man was? And how does a second violent act overcome the first violent act? Just think these things through. So, you know, it sounds like, well, we want to be kind, we want to be thoughtful. Well, think it through. There are things that sound really nice until you really think them through.
And comes as surrounding states have implemented restrictions.
Okay, so 12-week ban in North Carolina, that puts them pretty much squarely where Europe is. Tennessee, no abortions, but hey, that's a skinny state. You can always skip around and slurp Junior out. And then the 6-week bans. 6 weeks is long enough to know that you're pregnant. And yeah, if you start to think about what is it we usually think about that constitutes life, how do we know when somebody's alive? So, you know, typically we would look at things like brain waves or a heartbeat. The heart starts beating at 22 days. No, it's not a fully formed 4-chambered heart, but it is doing a heart's job. It is contracting and pushing blood throughout the body. It's doing what a heart does. So that baby has a functioning heart at 22 days. So, you know, if you consider something to be alive when the heart's beating, then that baby's alive at 22 days. If you're going to insist that there have to be brain waves, Let me look really quick. I think they've been measured surprisingly early in the pregnancy. Let me look real quick. Embryonic development. Oops. Brain. Sorry, it's hard to type sideways. Brain waves. Okay. When does a fetus develop a brain? Just a couple weeks. The embryo performs a neural plate, forms a neural tube. Neural tube closes around week 6 or 7, in which the brain separates into 3 parts, front, mid, and hindbrain. So around the time the neural tube closes, around week 7, so the embryo's moving as early as 6 weeks after conception or 8 pregnancy weeks, detecting the electrical impulses that govern movement, indicating that the brain is beginning to function. So 6 weeks after conception, 8 weeks of pregnancy, the brain is starting to do its job, just like the heart was starting to do its job. So you can say that kind of, if you're going by brain function, then a 6-week ban can make some sense, because you're not wanting to kill an individual who's, a human being whose human brain is telling its human body what to do.
Republicans argue the state is becoming an abortion destination, citing a dramatic increase in out-of-state procedures.
It was an emergency situation as far as I was concerned.
Planned Parenthood said
an emergency situation, you had to look at what they consider an emergency. Oh my gosh, if I want a dead baby, I have to travel. I'm sorry, world's smallest violin. If you want a dead baby, travel for it.
That the bill is devastating and that most women...
Devastating. Devastating. No dead baby. Devastating.
don't even know they're pregnant by 6 weeks.
Your period's late, you get a pregnancy test, you pee on it, you can know.
I know there are people that have appointments right now that are wondering, what do I do? Because I've heard from many of them. And I would say, hold tight. We're going to do our best to continue to provide care.
How about you refer them to a pro-life pregnancy center that would help them address the reasons they think that abortion's the only answer? How about, instead of the only thing you have to offer a troubled woman is, well, we'll kill your baby. How about, okay, what is it you need? Does your housing suck? We'll help you with housing. You got a sucky job? We'll help you get a better job. Your husband's unemployed? We'll help him get a job. You got no health care? We'll help you get set up with that. You have no child care? How about actually solving her problems? You know, there is not a single social problem in the world that can be fixed with surgery, except abortion. It fixes everything. Oops, I went my lighting. Hold on, let me get my lighting going back. Sorry, my lighting sucks. But if they went to half as much trouble to actually provide help to these women that they go to make sure that they can keep selling abortions. Let me try this. Let me try that. There we, whoa, now I'm overexposed. There we go. Yeah, if they spent half the time, effort, and money helping the women to overcome their problems that they spend fighting these abortion laws, they could make abortion pretty much go away, because women are not dancing down to the abortion clinic. Yay! I finally get to exercise my right to choose. Woohoo! They're crying. They say things like, I had to have an abortion. This is not something that they're wanting to do, so why don't you spend your resources helping them avoid it? Well, because there's no money in that.
And we will certainly let everyone know just as soon as we have some answers.
The organization will challenge the ban in court, where it was successful in 2021. But the makeup of the state Supreme Court has changed. The sole female justice who helped overturn the law has since retired. So,
notice that they say the sole female justice, as if, you know, women are not more likely to be pro-choice than men are. They're pretty much divided. Men are more likely than women to call themselves pro-choice. It's just that women tend to be more polarized. The pro-life women are far more strongly pro-life than pro-life men tend to be, and the pro-choice women are far more strongly actually getting closer and closer to pro-abortion. The women are more passionate about it than men are, which of course it makes sense. But they try to paint it as, well, of course, the woman is gone. Alas, no more dead babies. How sad.
So I feel confident that all that Planned Parenthood is going to do here is spend a lot of money on lawyers, and I guess the law firm will be happy they got the contract, but they're going to lose.
And while it does not penalize women, doctors could face up to 2 years in prison. It is not yet clear when Governor McMaster will sign it, but as you heard before that, he said that he would.
Now notice that the abortion lobby keeps saying they're going to criminalize women, criminalize women. Well, first of all, no, they're not saying that it'd be illegal to be female. There's no law against being female. They're not going to round you up and lock you up just for being female. And I don't think there have been any laws prior to widespread legalization where the woman who underwent the abortion was prosecuted. Now, the woman who arranged the abortion, you know, you go to your sister and your sister sets you up with Dr. Hagenow, and Dr. Hagenow botches the abortion and you die, you know, your sister might go to jail. But that's the woman who goes to jail is the one that helped arrange the abortion, not the woman who is, you know, in the hospital, you know, possibly expiring. Okay. A very balanced story, other than, you know, acting as though, well, you know, they lost a female justice, so that's a dark day for abortion. You know, women are not uniformly enthused about abortion. So that's my thoughts on that.